This is a giant huntsman, one of the fastest spiders on the planet. If I lift this lid,
If someone thinks all spiders are slow, creepy crawlers hiding in corners, they haven't met the giant huntsman. Native to Southeast Asia, this species holds the record for having the largest leg span of any spider in the world, stretching up to 12 inches across. Its body is flat, its legs spread wide like a crab's, and its speed is surprisingly fast. It doesn't weave webs to catch prey. Instead, it runs it down. What's even more unnerving is that it doesn't always stay on the ground. The huntsman can leap, and in rare cases, it has been known to jump straight at a person's face or body when threatened or startled. It's not a typical behavior, but it happens, and that's enough reason to keep your distance. Its bite isn't lethal, but it can still cause localized pain and panic, especially if the spider strikes when someone is unaware. And because of its large size and speed, a sudden encounter can feel like something out of a nightmare. They often hide behind furniture, inside cars, or in sheds, and because they blend into surfaces so well, they're not easy to spot until they move. And by then, it might already be too late to stay calm. Despite their size, they're not predators of humans. But if cornered or accidentally disturbed, they won't hesitate to defend themselves. It's not the venom you need to worry about, it's the surprise. That jump, that blur of hairy legs launching from a wall or under a bed is enough to keep anyone alert, especially if you're in a place they call home. It's barely the size of a golf ball. Glowing with neon blue rings, it looks like something out of a sci-fi cartoon. But this tiny octopus is one of the most dangerous marine animals in the world. The blue-ringed octopus lives in tide pools and coral reefs, mostly around Australia and parts of Southeast Asia. It doesn't chase or hunt people. In fact, it hides, camouflaged against rocks and sand. That's what makes it so dangerous. Someone reaching into the water to pick up a shell or touch a curious shape might never know what they've disturbed until those rings flash electric blue. Those flashing rings aren't for show, they're a warning. When it feels threatened, the blue-ringed octopus lights up like a living hazard sign. It's not bluffing. Inside its tiny body is a venom so powerful it can shut down a person's nervous system in minutes. The toxin is called tetrodotoxin, and it's the same substance found in some pufferfish. It blocks signals from nerves to muscles, which means someone affected can become paralyzed while staying completely conscious. Breathing can stop silently. And here's the catch, there's no antidote. None. All doctors can do is keep a person breathing long enough for the toxin to wear off. You'd expect such a creature to be a monster in size. But the danger here is in the disguise. It's small, colorful, even kind of cute. You could walk right past it or worse, step on it. And still, most people have never even heard of it. It's a living contradiction, beautiful and deadly, hidden and bright, silent and swift. Now, jumping spiders may trigger fear on sight, but some of the most unexpected aggression comes from animals that seem peaceful at first glance. Like the mute swan. With its snow-white feathers, smooth movements, and curved neck, it looks like a symbol of calm. But these birds are fiercely territorial, especially during nesting season. If they think someone is getting too close, they won't just hiss, they'll charge. With a wingspan that can stretch over 7 feet and surprisingly strong muscles, a swan can use its body weight to knock people over or even flip small watercraft. It's not an idle threat. These birds can follow a target for quite a distance, especially near the water's edge. What makes it more unexpected is how quiet they can be. The name mute isn't entirely accurate. They do make noises, but they tend to approach without dramatic warning. It's usually the wings flapping and the sudden rush that alerts a person too late. These birds aren't trying to be dangerous for the sake of it. They're protecting their territory. But their strength is no joke. People who've tried to chase them off or interact too closely often regret it. A mute swan doesn't need claws or fangs to defend itself. Just muscle, momentum, and a sharp sense of what doesn't belong near its nest. At first glance, the platypus looks more like a toy than a real animal. Almost as if someone combined parts from other creatures and gave it life. It's got a duck-like bill, a beaver-like tail, and webbed feet, all wrapped up in a body the size of a house cat. It's native to eastern Australia and Tasmania, where it spends most of its time in rivers and streams. It may look odd, but the platypus is a real biological mystery, and it hides something few would expect. The males are equipped with sharp spurs on their hind legs, and those spurs can inject venom. This venom isn't fatal to humans, but it causes intense pain, swelling, and in some cases, lasting sensitivity that can linger for weeks. The venom is used mainly during fights with other males over territory or mates. but it can still be dangerous if a person tries to handle one or gets too close. What's strange is how this venom changes with the seasons, growing more potent during breeding periods, almost like nature gave it a built-in weapon for rivalry. Scientists still don't completely understand all of its properties. And while the platypus doesn't seek out conflict, its defenses are nothing to underestimate. It's another reminder that even the strangest, most amusing-looking animals can carry very real danger just below the surface. Literally, in this case, right at the back of the legs. Tiny, colorful, and often no bigger than a coin, poison dart frogs look like candy-colored gems hopping around the rainforests of Central and South America. Their bright hues, blue, yellow, orange, green, aren't just for show. In the wild, those vibrant patterns are a warning. These frogs secrete powerful toxins through their skin, and in some species, that toxin is enough to cause serious harm, or worse, just from touch. Indigenous groups once used these frogs to coat blow darts for hunting, which is how they got their name. And the most potent ones, like the golden poison frog, can hold enough poison to affect multiple large animals. The danger doesn't come from aggression. These frogs don't bite or chase anything larger than an insect. The threat lies in how deceptively harmless they appear. A person might see one on a leaf and not think twice, but even the act of picking it up could lead to exposure. Their poison works by disrupting nerve signals, which can affect the heart and muscles. What's especially wild is that these frogs don't produce the toxin themselves. It's believed they absorb it from specific insects in their diet, meaning those raised in captivity are often not dangerous at all. In the rainforest, though, where nature loads their systems with chemical defenses, it's an entirely different story. Bright and beautiful doesn't always mean safe. The red fox is one of the most familiar wild animals on Earth. Its rust-colored fur, pointed ears, and bushy tail make it look like a character straight out of a storybook. And in many ways, it is. Foxes are symbols of cleverness and curiosity and folklore around the world. But there's another side to this adaptable predator. In many parts of the world, red foxes are known carriers of rabies. The disease affects the nervous system and can cause animals to behave erratically, even aggressively. While most foxes avoid people, an infected one may act unusually bold, approaching humans or pets with no fear. Because they're so common near farms, suburbs, and even cities, people often underestimate them. Foxes slip through fences, climb low rooftops, and raid chicken coops in the middle of the night. Their intelligence is impressive. They've been caught using distraction tactics and even pretending to sleep to lure in prey. But their proximity to human spaces makes them a unique kind of risk. Not every red fox is dangerous, of course, but the line between wild and tame can blur fast. That unpredictability is what makes them so fascinating and worth keeping an eye on. In the icy waters of Antarctica, most creatures stay cautious, slow, and hidden. But the leopard seal doesn't play by those rules. It's sleek, muscular, and fast, designed like a submarine built for stealth. At first glance, its rounded head and smooth body look almost gentle, but open that jaw and things change quickly. A leopard seal has long, sharp teeth made for catching slippery prey like penguins and fish. And it's not just the teeth that are impressive, it's the power behind them. These seals can lunge from below the ice, striking with precision and force. Unlike the more social seals that gather in large groups, leopard seals tend to be solitary. That makes their behavior harder to predict. They're curious by nature and have been known to follow divers, inspect equipment, or even mouth underwater cameras. But they're also capable predators, fast enough to catch penguins in open water and large enough to intimidate almost anything else in their environment. Their silence makes them especially eerie. They don't bark or growl much, they just appear, often when it's already too late to react. In a place as harsh as Antarctica, being quiet and quick is a serious advantage. Deep in the tropical forests of northern Australia and New Guinea lives a bird that looks like it wandered off a Jurassic Park set. The cassowary doesn't fly, but it doesn't need to. Standing up to 6 feet tall with a helmet-like casque on its head and a striking blue and black neck, this bird commands attention. What really sets it apart, though, are the dagger-like claws on each foot, especially the inner toe, which is shaped like a curved blade. When provoked, the cassowary can deliver kicks strong enough to cause serious injuries. This isn't a bird that picks fights for no reason. Most of the time it prefers to keep its distance, but if it feels threatened, especially when guarding eggs or young, it can charge in an instant. And it doesn't bluff. With powerful legs built for sprinting through dense undergrowth, the cassowary can reach surprising speeds and its attacks come fast. People are often caught off guard by how agile and strong it is. Despite its exotic appearance, it shares more traits with ancient predators than today's backyard birds. And when it moves, you don't want to be standing in its path. It looks like something you'd pick up on a beach and slip into your pocket. A beautifully patterned seashell, maybe an inch or two long. But the cone snail is anything but harmless. Found in warm waters across the Indo-Pacific region, this marine predator has developed one of the most sophisticated and dangerous hunting tools in the animal kingdom. Hidden beneath its shell is a flexible, harpoon-like tooth that can fire into prey with lightning speed. It doesn't pierce skin by accident. This is a biological weapon designed to immobilize fast-moving fish, worms, and even other snails. What makes it more unsettling is the nature of its venom. Some species of cone snails carry a potent cocktail of neurotoxins capable of disrupting the nervous system, causing muscle paralysis. In rare but real cases, a person who handles one carelessly and gets stung may experience numbness, difficulty breathing, and, in extreme cases, total paralysis. The problem is that there's no known antidote. Medical treatment is limited to keeping a person stable while the toxins wear off. Luckily, they don't chase anyone down. Cone snails are slow after all. But their defense mechanism is fast and unexpected, making them one of the most deceptive dangers in the ocean. Something that looks completely harmless can strike with more precision than you'd ever expect from a shell. Sloth bears don't look like the typical aggressive bear stereotype. They're shaggy, awkward, and often seen digging for termites or licking honey out of tree bark with their long snouts. Native to the Indian subcontinent, they're not particularly large compared to grizzlies or polar bears. But what they lack in size, they make up for in sheer unpredictability. Unlike other bears that usually avoid humans, sloth bears are known for being surprisingly aggressive in the wild, especially when startled. Their reactions are quick, explosive, and hard to predict, even by people who know how to behave around wildlife. They have long, curved claws used for tearing apart insect mounds, but those same claws can be used defensively with shocking force. Encounters often happen when someone accidentally gets too close, especially near thick brush where the bears forage. Despite their name, sloth bears aren't slow at all. They can run fast, climb trees, and react with speed that catches people off guard. Their eyesight isn't great, which makes surprise encounters more likely. Unlike other bears that bluff charge, sloth bears often don't hesitate to act. They're not naturally aggressive toward people, but their defensive instincts are strong and immediate. In areas where humans and bears share space, this makes them a serious concern. One more reason not to judge a wild animal by how clumsy or docile it might look. If there's a prize for the best camouflage in the ocean, the stonefish wins without question. It looks exactly like a rock, rough, lumpy, and covered in algae. You could be swimming or wading near one and never notice until it's too late. Native to the Indo-Pacific region, the stonefish isn't interested in people. It just sits perfectly still, waiting for prey to pass by. But the danger comes when a person steps on it, mistaking it for the seafloor. That triggers its self-defense reflex, and what happens next is not something you want to experience. Hidden along its back are 13 spines connected to venom glands. When pressure is applied, like a foot stepping down, those spines shoot upward, delivering a powerful neurotoxin. The venom causes immediate and intense pain and can lead to swelling, muscle weakness, and, in severe cases, paralysis and death. Stonefish aren't aggressive, but the problem is how invisible they are. They blend into sand, coral, and rock so well that even experienced divers sometimes miss them. What makes them especially dangerous is that they're often found in shallow waters, close to beaches and reefs. The best defense? Watch your step, and never assume that still object in the sand is just a stone. With its big, round eyes and slow movements, the slow loris might be the last animal you'd expect to appear on this list. It looks like a plush toy come to life, clinging to branches in Southeast Asia's forests. But behind that innocent appearance is one of the strangest defense mechanisms in the animal kingdom. The slow loris produces a toxic secretion from glands near its elbows. When threatened, it licks these glands and mixes the toxin with its saliva, delivering it through a bite. This venom can cause serious allergic reactions in other animals, and in rare cases in people. It's one of the only venomous primates known to science. The slow loris uses this unique trick both to protect itself and to coat its fur when caring for its young, potentially deterring predators. And while it doesn't go around looking for trouble, it will bite if it feels cornered or unsafe. Its bite is not just painful, it can lead to swelling, numbness, and long-term skin reactions. The danger isn't obvious, and that's the key. Most people would never guess that this gentle-looking creature could be dangerous at all. It's a perfect example of how nature sometimes hides serious defense systems behind the most innocent faces. Deep in tropical forests and understones and humid regions lives a creature that seems pulled straight from a nightmare. The giant centipede, especially species like Scolopendra gigantea, can grow over a foot long and is armed with sharp, hooked legs and venomous fangs. With a flattened body and quick movements, it squeezes into tight spaces with ease and it hunts with speed and precision. Its venom is designed to overpower insects, lizards, and even small mammals. But what makes it disturbing is that these centipedes are strong enough to take down prey much larger than expected, including bats, which they've been known to ambush mid-flight inside caves. The bite itself can be very painful to people, causing burning sensations, swelling, and discomfort that can last for days. Though not typically life-threatening, it's enough to send some straight to a hospital. What makes them unsettling is how unexpectedly fast and aggressive they are. Unlike most insects that flee from larger threats, giant centipedes might hold their ground or even strike if disturbed. They prefer to stay hidden, but if someone turns over a log or lifts a stone without checking, they might come face to face with one. It's a reminder that sometimes the creatures we rarely see are the ones we most want to avoid. In some of the world's most beautiful beaches, especially around northern Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, an almost invisible danger floats just below the surface. The box jellyfish doesn't look like a killer. It's almost transparent, soft, and quiet in the water. But its long, trailing tentacles carry one of the most powerful venoms in the animal kingdom. Each tentacle is lined with thousands of microscopic stinging cells, which can fire tiny harpoons laced with toxins in a fraction of a second. The purpose is to paralyze fish quickly, but when a person comes into contact with these tentacles, the effect can be overwhelming. The sting is often described as instantly burning, and the venom can affect the heart, nervous system, and skin all at once. Some stings are survivable, others can trigger more severe reactions if contact is widespread. The problem isn't aggression. Box jellyfish don't hunt humans. They just drift, often pushed near shore by tides or wind. Because they're nearly invisible in water, swimmers often never see them coming. Protective nets and stinger suits are used in some regions during jellyfish season, but accidental contact still happens. The danger lies in how silent and unseen they are, floating through water like ghosts with invisible wires. It looks like a small bear mixed with a badger, stout, shaggy, and low to the ground. But the wolverine is one of the most fearless predators in the animal world. Found in remote forests and mountain ranges across the northern hemisphere, this solitary creature has a reputation for challenging animals several times its size. It's not unusual for a wolverine to stand its ground against wolves, or even try to steal food from much larger carnivores like bears. Its strength is disproportionate to its size, and its bite is strong enough to crush frozen bones in the dead of winter. Wolverines are built for endurance. They can travel long distances over snow-covered terrain, using their large paws like natural snowshoes. Their sense of smell is sharp enough to detect buried carcasses under feet of snow, and once they find something, they rarely leave it behind. Despite being under 3 feet long, they're capable of dragging away large prey or breaking into frozen shelters. They're also highly unpredictable. While they tend to avoid people, their aggressive nature means they won't back down if they feel cornered or threatened. For such a small animal, their sheer confidence makes them one of the wild's most unexpected powerhouses. It's bright green, slender, and easy to overlook in the canopy of trees across sub-Saharan Africa. The boomslang doesn't hiss or posture like other snakes. It stays quiet, blends in, and watches. That's what makes it so dangerous. Its venom is incredibly potent, affecting the body's ability to clot blood. But here's what makes it even more unsettling. The symptoms don't always appear right away. A person could be bitten and feel fine for hours before the real effects start, including internal bleeding and severe complications. The boomslang's name literally means tree snake, and that's where it prefers to stay, above eye level. It hunts birds and chameleons with precision, using its excellent vision and lightning-fast strikes. Unlike some venomous snakes that need to bite multiple times, the boomslang delivers a highly efficient dose with just one strike. It's not an aggressive species, it will avoid people when possible. But if it feels trapped, it won't hesitate to defend itself. Because of its color and size, it can go completely unnoticed, especially when motionless. That combination of stealth and speed makes it one of the last snakes you'd want to surprise during a walk through the trees. There's a place in Indonesia where the top predator isn't a big cat or a crocodile, it's a reptile. The Komodo dragon is the largest living lizard on the planet, reaching lengths over 10 feet and weighing up to 150 pounds. It looks like something left over from prehistoric times, and in many ways it is. These massive reptiles don't just scavenge for meals, they actively hunt. Using a combination of stealth, patience, and surprising bursts of speed, they ambush deer, wild boars, and even water buffalo. But the part that makes them truly fearsome is what comes after the bite. The Komodo dragon's saliva carries a mix of bacteria and anticoagulant compounds. And more recently, scientists discovered that they actually produce venom as well. When they bite their prey, the toxins prevent blood from clotting, weakening the animal until it collapses. Then the dragon follows at a steady pace, tracking it until it's safe to move in. While they rarely come into contact with people, they have been known to attack when provoked or when food is involved. Their sense of smell is incredibly sharp. They can detect blood from miles away. What's unsettling is how quiet they are. They don't roar, hiss, or make a scene. They just wait, watch, and move when the moment's right. In their natural habitat, they're not just lizards. They're the apex predator. And they've been holding that title for thousands of years without needing anything more than muscle, patience, and venom. That's about it. Which animal surprised you the most? Write in the comments. For more useful information, watch other videos.